Big it up, big it up. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. Here we go.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Notorious NerdyD Casual Wrestling Show, the single greatest casual wrestling podcast on the internet. Nailed it. I am your host and current Notorious pay-per-view champion, NerdyD. And joining me on the ones and twos, working the mics and cameras, is my better half, Level Up Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
Each and every week, we take a journey through the world of professional wrestling, all while learning from you guys, the audience, through your comments on social media. Make sure to like and subscribe to the show on YouTube at Notorious NerdyD Wrestling Show, or subscribe on your favorite podcasting network. We are on Spotify, Google Podcast, and officially on Apple Podcast. Make sure to leave a little review or a comment to help us get into the algorithm. This week, I'm going to attempt to explain why I prefer the WWE over AEW Wrestling Productions. But first, damn, that was gotta take a deep breath to come out of that.
Yep.
We have heard the voices of the CWC. And based on a few different of our social media outlets, we've gotten feedback that you guys want to be able to call in and participate on the show, right? I mean, that seems to be the consensus you've seen.
Yeah.
That people want to be able to contribute and have conversation to the show. So we will be adding some sort of call-in show, hopefully in March, especially kind of in the run-up. We'll test it in the run-up to WrestleMania. Okay. There'll be tons of shit going on, lots to talk about, lots of people call in. We can go back and forth. It probably won't be part of this show, but we'll do a separate show because this show's kind of laid out and it's tightly wound into like an hour and 15 minutes. So I don't know where we could fit that, but I do think there's room to do like more content.
Oh, definitely, for sure.
So we will be doing that, right? We still have yet to hear from our mysterious, where is this? Right here, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Our mysterious, Notorious NerdyD internet champion for the pay-per-view challenge, who is Lee. We know nothing from Lee. Lee is still the mystery champion.
Yep.
I'm going to begin putting together like an avatar for this person.
Of what we think Lee could look like.
Possibly, just
each week we'll add something new to him,
like a lucha mask, and we'll draw
Oh yeah, and maybe if he ever reaches out, we can just like a mask him.
We'll fully flush out a character here.
Yeah, for sure.
Lee.
Cool.
If Lee's not gonna, Lee, if you're just gonna come in and fucking win the contest and then bounce on us, I don't know what kind of champion that is. That's
mysterious.
I don't. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into the poll for this week. Not a lot of housekeeping. I think I got it all out of my system the last couple of weeks, but I want to set something straight with the poll because I see a lot of people who are upset by this poll that we're doing.
Okay.
This tends to upset a lot of people, but the truth is this D-Bag Hall of Fame that we've created, that's 100% a joke. It's a bit. It's funny, right?
Yeah.
And now that it's pissed people off, you know me, I'm gonna dig my feet in and we're gonna fucking make it a thing. Uh-huh. But they're upset. I get at least 10 comments a week on people who are you to judge these people. I'm fucking nobody, but it's fun. Mm-hmm. It is fun to like, we hold these people accountable for things they've done in their past, and that's it. We take a jab at them for a stupid moment in their time. Are they probably better people now? I assume some of them are. I assume some of them are still douchebags. At some point in time, we're probably going to talk about everybody's favorite wrestler. Because the amount of submissions I'm beginning to get is ridiculous. I'm hearing names. You're submitting people to me.
Yeah.
I got people on TikTok. I got people on YouTube, Facebook. They're coming at me from all angles, and I'm having to like try to vet this information. Like, is this legit? And it feels like at one point in time, every professional wrestler has done something douchebaggery. But I want to tone down and kind of clean up the contest. So I'm going to remove the name douchebag from the contest.
Okay.
We are now going to officially dub this the Notorious Hall of Shame. It just sounds better.
Yeah.
It just sounds better. I fixed the logo. This is the Notorious Hall of Shame. We are going to shame people for the things they've done and hope they get better, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so last week's poll, we had Bray Wyatt and we had the Corey Graves. And this one kind of came down to the wire. I thought it got tight for a minute, then it loosened up and it got tight. There's lots of disputes. Lots of people disputing the debauchery, the things that these people have done. But, you know, I did a little research and I think we're pretty solid on what it is. So if you want to bring up graphic one here, we'll introduce this week's fan inductee into the Hall of Shame is none other than Corey Graves.
Bum, bum, bum.
And Corey Graves, as the story is alleged, cheated on his wife with one Carmella.
Ooh.
Now, I saw there was a lot of dispute on this, right? Lots of people in the comments trying to say that Corey was already in the process of being divorced when he began to date Carmella.
That is what somebody told me.
Lots of people saying that. I have dug around, got a little information that we will get to later in the show.
So stay tuned.
But I think I found proof that
there's more to the story.
Corey was up to shenanigans.
All right.
There were shenanigans at play with Corey Graves, right? Mm-hmm. I want to reiterate, though. People, like, they come at me. I put the first 4 names into the Hall of Shame. I put CM Punk, Matt Riddle, Sammy Guevara, and I believe Ric Flair. I believe those were my first 4 inductees into the Hall of Shame, correct?
I think so. Yeah, the helicopter
might have been one more.
himself.
CM Punk was in there, too. So
yes,
there might
for
be
not
5,
signing
right?
autographs, yeah.
I want to reiterate, those are my 5. I got the ball rolling. After that, this is all fan selected here.
Oh, yeah.
This is fan inductees into the Hall of Shame. So y'all can't come at me. I'm just doing what the fans want, what these people want me, what the listeners want me to do.
Yeah. Drop your ideas in the comments. Let us know. Message us.
Yeah. So this week, I got a couple submissions.
Okay.
Graphic 2, please.
All right.
In graphic 2, you will see that the tail of the tape for this week's Hall of Shame is one Alberto Del Rio. Would you care to read on that thing what he is alleged of?
Yeah. Alleged aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault. What the fuck?
Yeah, this man's out of San Antonio too. So this is a homer for us.
Ew.
And I'm gonna go on record, like, as shouting out. At one point in time, this man was my favorite wrestler. Like, no doubt, Alberto Del Rio. I was diehard. The world
Paige's boy for a minute, right?
The world heavyweight title I have behind me.
Yeah.
Autographed by Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez. 100%. Not proud of it. I can't erase it. It's there. I guess I could get some like goof off and get it off.
Yeah.
Go back to the graphic.
Okay.
Alberto will be going up against the rated R superstar. Someone I think I knew this happened or allegedly happened, but I don't think it kind of time heals wounds. And I forgot, but someone brought this back up to my attention and I can't let this go. What was Edge accused of?
Cheating on his wife with Lita.
Dude, and I believe there's like some substantiated evidence. Like I believe Lita has come out and the people, the listeners.
The wife he's married to now? Is it the same
No.
Different
so
wife.
he was married, I believe, cheated on that wife, and then ended up with Beth Phoenix at some point. People will clear this up. You know, people love to get into the comments and clear up all of this information. So let us know, is there legitimacy to either of these stories? Because I think the charges were all dropped on Alberto Del Rio. Alberto's got a hell of a mugshot, by the way.
Ooh, we should find it.
Like a hell of a mugshot. You might have to like put
Google
that
it.
into the TikTok.
Yeah.
When you put this on TikTok, add in Alberto, like right here on my hand, add in, because you know how some people do that cool thing that I can't do on TikTok, where like a fucking picture appears when they move their hand. Make it look like that when I do this, okay? Like here it is.
Alberto Del Rio.
And then take it away and then put it back.
He's Alberto Del
And
Rio.
then take it away. Okay, we'll do
One more
that.
time.
I'm testing your
Alberto Del Rio.
okay, I'm testing your editing skills now. I'm gonna put you to work.
Great,
here.
thank you.
Maybe just throughout the show, if I raise my hand and go like this, you have to put a picture of Alberto Del Rio there.
Challenge accepted.
All right. So yeah, those are the 2 for this week. Now, I've had some more interesting submittals that I've tried to dig in and figure out if the things I'm told are real or not real, right?
Okay.
And this one was actually brought to my attention by you.
Yes.
Level Up Lauren brought this one to my attention, and there was a TikTok that kind of went through this full story, but as I like dug deeper, lots of people called bullshit. Lots of people said it was real, but apparently The Rock, Dwayne boy, was up to some shenanigans in his first marriage.
Yeah.
And so there's a TikTok that kind of goes through the whole thing. I'll let everybody do their own research and tell me if it's true. I know now at this point in time, he is friends with his first wife, or she's his business manager.
Yeah.
So everything's patched over, but that does not mean there weren't shenanigans at one point.
Yeah.
So I did not put him on there because I feel like if you're going to put the great one, if you're going to go with The Rock, you better have your facts straight. So I need people to kind of chime in and let me know, do we submit The Rock for the Hall of Shame, or is there just not enough evidence?
Yeah, for sure.
The other one, Luchasaurus.
Oh, what about the Luchasaurus?
Did you know that Luchasaurus was a contestant on the show Big Brother season 17?
Fuck no.
I had no clue. I went down.
Was this before he was in AEW? Like before he was like a wrestler?
He was in NXT, then he left WWE. He got injured. This is what he said. I went down a fucking deep rabbit hole last night of Luchasaurus on what do you call Big Brother.
Yeah.
So apparently got hurt in NXT, retired from wrestling, went on Big Brother, fell in love with some girl, left Big Brother, joined AEW. Something to that extent.
Okay.
But apparently he had a girlfriend in lieu of going to the Big Brother show, but then he had what I've learned, did not know this term until I'm pretty much a Big Brother season 17 expert at this point.
Okay.
With the amount of research I did last night, but he had what they call showmance.
Okay. Yes.
With
I'm familiar with that.
a girl named Liz.
All right. But he had a girlfriend.
But he had a girlfriend at home apparently.
So did he like mess with this girl, like mess around with her and stuff?
I didn't go that deep. I didn't get into they have like the behind the scene cameras. Didn't go that far. But I do know that someone brought this to my attention. Seems like there's some shenanigans going on with Luchasaurus.
We might need some of these like Big Brother experts to chime in on this.
That's exactly right. All right, so let's get into wrestling. Let's go overreactions for this week of wrestling.
All right.
So we are coming off of the Royal Rumble high, right?
Yes.
Or if you ask some people right now, the Royal Rumble low. I'm off for Royal Rumble high. I enjoyed it. I don't give a fuck what other people say.
Yep.
I enjoyed it, and that's all I care about, right? And we're now back into what WWE does best. And what WWE does best is it's fucking going into a holding pattern and biding their time until we get to the next like pay-per-view that they deem to be like worth a shit, which is not Elimination Chamber, right? Mm-hmm. This just happens to be an event they have in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania because they could sell tickets to it.
Definitely.
SmackDown was an interesting show to say the least this week. It was one of the, I wouldn't say worst.
It was
forgettable and just kind of like predictable, but they're in a holding pattern, right? We got the announcement of Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, and I'm joking when I say Goldberg because I actually like Goldberg. Mm-hmm. I saw he was on Pat McAfee. I learned so much on Pat McAfee. I love when he has wrestlers. He had Seth Rollins on today.
Ooh, I definitely got to watch that one.
The Wednesday episode of Pat McAfee has Seth Rollins. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm interested to see what Seth says. But I like Goldberg. I do like Goldberg. I don't love when he comes back to wrestle, but I like Goldberg. And for him and Sting, for guys that age, it's fucking impressive what they can do, right?
Definitely.
At first, when I first saw this, I rolled my eyes and I was like, oh, geez, here we go again. Fucking Goldberg's back, and we're going to do this song and dance where he comes back. But then after SmackDown, I had time to kind of sit down and ponder and really go over what that meant.
Yeah.
And the reality is we got to have something for Roman Reigns to do at the Elimination Chamber, right? Mm-hmm. You're not going to not have Roman on the pay-per-view. He sells too many tickets. People pay to go see Roman.
They want to see him.
So you got to have him on the show, right? And who is somebody that you can put out there that you can sacrifice? It doesn't really hurt their character. You don't want to throw one of these young cats out there, right? One of these up-and-comers. You don't want to throw them to the Roman Reigns wolf and just have them eaten up and then kind of forgotten about. Goldberg seems like the right opponent in this situation. He's got enough. He's dangerous enough that he makes Roman Reigns seem extremely strong. You know, if Roman picks up a W at Elimination Chamber, then he goes into WrestleMania with a lot of momentum, especially after the Royal Rumble where he kind of cracked, right? Mm-hmm. And you can have Goldberg either add to that like frustration, or you can just have him rebound off of this thing and even just smash Goldberg would be fine. I just wish they didn't put the title on the line. I don't know why there's the necessity to every time you bring back, like, why does Goldberg just to come out and like, you're next. I get to fight you for the title. Why not have Goldberg come out and just say, I don't give a fuck about the title. We're going to fight. I'm going to prove to you, like, you're going to have to dig deep down inside of you to find out who you are to fight me. Because when the title's on the line, you know there's zero chance Roman Reigns loses, right?
Yeah.
Because you know they're not going Goldberg in the main event of WrestleMania. It's not going to happen.
True.
We're not doing that this year. So you know more than likely Roman Reigns is the guy carrying the Universal title into WrestleMania. So zero chance he loses this match. If you make it a non-title match, you at least give an illusion of the idea that possibly he could lose, right? Mm-hmm. Something could happen. Someone could cost him the match. Hope we don't get another DQ finish.
Oh, I'm really tired of fucking DQs, bro.
But especially with Roman, like if we're going to build him up, let this be a thing that builds him up going into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We got the announcement for Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey, the official announcement at SmackDown. Charlotte came out and basically threw Sasha Banks under the bus, called her out, and then she was just like a part of the storyline, but now she's not a part of the storyline. Mm-hmm. Then Ronda comes out and makes it official that they're having a match at WrestleMania. My question to you and to people is Charlotte really a bigger draw than Sasha Banks?
I don't know. I love Sasha Banks, and I feel like she has such great, like, what's that word I'm looking for? The crowd loves her.
Like, yeah, charisma and stage presence, right?
Yeah.
It's always felt like to me that even Becky caught fire, and the fans really love Becky. But I think the kind of counter to that is Sasha Banks is, to me, the number 2 on the roster. I don't think it's Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And people make the argument, well, Charlotte's so talented. I believe Charlotte's talented.
I think every little girl loves Sasha Banks. Women love Sasha Banks.
And I think the reality is going into WrestleMania, you have 2 very unlikable people in a match. No, I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of people who dislike Charlotte Flair, and there is a lot of WWE fans, and we'll get to this in the dirt sheets. There's a lot of WWE fans who cannot stand Ronda Rousey.
True.
And Ronda kind of plays naturally the heel role. Mm-hmm. So I don't know in this match, how do you promote this? Is this just fucking the 2 most hated women in wrestling?
Yeah.
So that's the question I asked is this a missed opportunity? Because it feels like either insert Sasha Banks into this match and do a triple threat match, but then is this a repeat of the Becky, Sasha, Charlotte match, just replacing Becky with Sasha? Or, I mean, fuck, I thought at one point we were, you know, there was heat on Charlotte, and now it's like she's back in the main event. Mm-hmm. I would rather personally see Sasha Banks versus Ronda Rousey. I think that would be a very fun WrestleMania match.
I agree.
And I think it sells. Evil. I think it sells more tickets, and it does have a good versus evil feel.
Yeah, definitely. Ew, I said definitely like 50 times.
Ronda Rousey attacked Sonya Deville with her jacket on.
That did happen.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Now, this is where WWE starts to fuck with my logic, right? Uh-huh. They play with my fucking mental state here, because we were told when Brock Lesnar did it, when Brock Lesnar attacked Adam Pearce, he was suspended. Mm-hmm. Remember?
Yes.
But Ronda Rousey comes out and attacks Sonya Deville, and we're just going to pretend like nothing happened.
Yeah.
I feel like...
And Naomi can't touch her if she has a jacket on.
Exactly. It makes that seem stupid. And I also feel like the best thing that could happen for Ronda Rousey would be to disappear for a little bit. Like to be suspended and maybe show up in backstage segments trying to get in or something. But the more you put her out there to talk...
Oh, she's horrible.
She's not good on a microphone. No. She struggles on a microphone. And I had this little thing that I was playing around with in my head was... What would be the possibility of putting Ronda in some kind of faction, right?
Okay.
Let's play on this idea that Brock Lesnar is he's one of your main guys, and he won the Rumble, and Ronda won the Rumble. Let's put together a UFC, like a fighters faction. And somebody on Twitter actually answered and gave me hell of a name for this, and I don't remember, and I can pull it up real quick.
All right. I mean, I think that would be pretty cool.
Let's see.
Because there actually are a few like UFC fighters or ex-UFC fighters in the WWE, right?
Yes, there are a few. And I'm not going to be able to find it fast enough, but I will put it up later because it deserves credit because it was a good name.
Well, if you think of it at a random moment, let me know. But
the spitballing back and forth idea on this was, what about a faction that included like Brock Lesnar? What if Brock Lesnar somehow recruited Bobby Lashley? Mm-hmm. Then you got Ronda Rousey. You got Shayna Baszler. The thing I hear is that like Riddle would fit in there, but I think Riddle's kind of on his own. He's doing his own thing, and I don't think he needs to be buried inside of a faction that has Ronda, Brock, Bobby. Keep him out of it. But I do think that you could go with a wild card. Someone like, I was throwing around names, Chael Sonnen, who is a UFC guy who's got a fucking mouth on him. He can talk with the best of them.
Okay.
I think he would be awesome in the WWE. Now, I know there's some bad blood between the two, like a deal that fell through. Okay. But that, that never lasts. I'm sure you throw the right amount of money, he's back. Or what about like Conor McGregor?
That would be fucking epic.
I mean,
bro.
if there was a way to just put Conor right back in the spotlight, put him into a faction. He doesn't even really have to fight. He could just go out there and talk shit and kick a couple guys in the head.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then I also thought Colby Covington is a guy, but I think he's kind of in the prime of his UFC, so I don't know how that would work out. But I thought it was a fun idea. She needs a mouthpiece. She needs somebody to talk for her. She needs a Paul Heyman.
Yes.
And if they could give her somebody who she could go out there and do the whole badass shtick, and then somebody could do the talking for her, she would get over so much more. But right now I'm really confused by like how this really feels thrown together, the Ronda Charlotte thing.
Yeah.
Monday Night Raw, another show that felt like it was in holding. I actually enjoyed it, but as we made comment a lot of times, there wasn't a lot of wrestling, especially in the
Hulu version.
The Hulu, the abridged Hulu version.
I sat there and I told you, I was like, dude, we just watched like a whole game show.
So it started out with the RK Bro and Alpha Academy Quiz Bowl.
I loved it. I loved it.
Which was fun, but it was a very long cold open, very predictable. Not much more to say about it. It was a quiz bowl, right? Monday Night Raw started off with the fucking game show. It had graphics and everything. Now, I talked about this last week. I wanted to do a segment, the shit I tweet that nobody reads.
Yes.
So I did tweet during that segment when I watched it, and I usually watch Raw the following night, but I did tweet, I think I've slept on Chad Gable for far too long. Mm-hmm. He originally was with American Alpha, which was Jason Jordan, the guy who ended up being quote unquote Kurt Angle's son.
Oh, okay, I remember him.
And then got hurt. Then he became Shorty G.
Okay.
And I remember hating that
character. I don't remember him at all from that,
but quickly Gable is climbing my list of favorite wrestlers. He's slowly creeping up there with the Kevin Owens. I like clever people. And he's clever. The little thing, the shush. That's good. And the 4.0 and all that stuff, I like it. Mm-hmm. He's let's go somewhere with this. Let's once they get, hopefully we are headed towards the end of RK Bro. And I don't say hopefully, because that can't last forever. I guess. Right? And I think Alpha Academy has done what I said nobody could do, and they've stepped into that spot. And I think they'll be able to run with the tag team belts and put some entertainment behind it. We're obviously probably leading towards, I would assume, Riddle and Orton at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's a big match. It's a big ticket match. There'll be a lot of interest behind that.
For sure.
We got to see Bobby Lashley and MVP out there talking. To be honest, so boring. I don't remember a thing that Bobby Lashley said. And to be honest with you, I don't see any path where Bobby Lashley comes out of Elimination Chamber as champion. I just like, there's too many. If I was a betting man, I'd bet that Brock Lesnar comes out and we're going to go title for title. I think that Seth Rollins is an option, because I still think that if you're going to do something with the WWE title, it should be Seth and Kevin. And I'll talk about that in a second. But I don't see any path where Bobby Lashley comes out of there as WWE champion. I think he got his moment. He is just somebody to hold the belt to go to. They needed somebody big enough to take it off of Brock, even with the interference. And then I think from there, I don't know, maybe Bobby Big E at Wrestle. No, I keep throwing Big E back in there, but apparently Big E is back to being New Day tag team, tag team wrestler. That's kind of, he's been buried back down. Not buried, because that man, that's fucking, he does that better than anybody. The
crowd loves him.
Yeah, and he's extremely good with that, and that shouldn't be buried. No. He had a solid title run, and if he ends up just being a tag team guy, he's probably going to go down as...
He's great in the New Day. I love him.
To me, the New Day is going to go down as the greatest tag team of all time. So it's not much to say that. No, he's been buried back into them. Yeah, he's been buried back into being the best tag team wrestler in the world. It's just me overreacting.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch and Lita. This is the same thing with Goldberg, right? Becky Lynch needs somebody to entertain the crowd at Elimination Chamber, and then we'll get to the real story with Becky Lynch, which is probably going to be either Bianca Belair or Rhea Ripley. I'm assuming, right? That's where they go with this at WrestleMania. Maybe both of them. A triple threat match would be fun.
All right.
But once again, why have this a title match? Just let Lita come out and fight Becky Lynch. And this is the one where I actually think it would make sense. If it wasn't a title match, have Lita beat Becky Lynch and rattle her confidence. I think Becky Lynch... Battle
of the Redheads.
True. Becky Lynch would be a fun character to see with like cracks in the foundation, right? To see her start to like implode from the inside on like, oh fuck, I lost to a legend. I'm not untouchable anymore.
Do you think that when Lita came out and asked her like, you'll accept any challenge, how she kind of responded showed cracks a little bit?
No, I think that was just a play on like, if you'll accept any challenge. She kind of like, it was like supposed to look like she tricked her into the match.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're a WWE legend, you can just now come out and ask for a title match anytime you want. Doesn't matter who's done what, but that's WWE, right? I'll get to that a little bit later in the burning question.
Yeah. So
where is Kevin Owens headed? I could have talked about the main event. I could talk about Seth Rollins, but I got to talk about my favorite wrestler, because that's the most important thing that came out of Raw to me. Where the fuck is Kevin Owens headed? We were on this in January. We were on this glorious path that led to me thinking that Kevin Owens could win the Fatal 4-Way at day one. I really believed it. I believed that there was a chance Kevin Owens walks out of there champion, right?
Yes.
Of course, Brock Lesnar came in and ruined that dream. Then I thought we were on this beautiful path where Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins were going to become tag team champions.
Yeah.
They kind of, they've teased it, but it's that they're clearly not going to go that direction, right? Then we were on this path that, I thought for the WWE title, we're going to get Seth Rollins versus Kevin Owens. And I was, once again, all for that. Now the storyline and the tease they're going with is that Kevin Owens may not even have a match at WrestleMania, which is obviously a work. It's obviously a work, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I did rather enjoy the Kevin Owens claiming to love Texas and be a Texan and deep in the heart of Kevin. And I wanted to put this out as the official ambassador of the Texas chapter of the CWC, because that's who I am. Notorious NerdyD is the official ambassador of the Texas chapter of the CWC. I would like to formally announce our acceptance of Kevin Owens as an official true Texan. We accept. He can denounce his Canadian citizenship, come on down to Texas. Dallas is a beautiful city. San Antonio, Austin, Houston, pick one. You can move down there, live there, and we'll figure out a way to cheer your ass into WrestleMania.
Yes, sir.
We'll figure it out, right? Deep in the heart of Kevin. I want a t-shirt that has like Texas with like Kevin Owens' face on it and says like real Texan.
Yeah, for sure.
Sadly, I think we're headed towards some kind of weird blow-off match between Seth and Kevin at WrestleMania, which means, it's going to mean absolutely nothing because there'll be no title on the line. It'll just be two like ex-best friends going at it. It's what they're teasing, right? With like the jealousy and Why the fuck do Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns need 7 belts to sell their story? Like, why do they need every title belt? Because let's not kid ourselves. That's where the fuck this is heading, right? They need every fucking belt to sell this story.
Yes.
All because they, couldn't get The Rock to come back, it feels like?
I don't know. Maybe he will come back.
Next year. It's always next year. That's what they always say with The Rock. He's busy this year. Somehow, the busiest man in Hollywood will be less busy next year.
Yeah.
Although he's kind of going through some shit right now. So
we'll see.
If that shit don't go well, he may be calling up WWE looking for a fucking job. Who knows?
Yes, sir.
AEW overreactions here. Only thing I'm going to overreact to is the CM Punk versus MJF match last week, which I thought was an extremely good match. Good. Not great. Don't think it's fucking, I'm not going to do the IWC thing and fucking just explode my head and talk about how great it is and suck wrestling dick and shit like that. Just not doing any of that weird shit because it was a good match, right? It was hokey at times, would you admit?
Yes.
Like
oh
the
my
fucking,
God.
the
ring thing where he put him
hit him on the ropes and he was bouncing up and down and stuff. Like MJF comes off a little hokey.
Something that like a little kid would do.
Yeah. Then we got the first finish where he took off the tape and he choked him out with the tape. I mean, this is a bad look for CM Punk because this motherfucker gets choked out in UFC. This motherfucker gets choked out in AEW. Everywhere he goes, his ass is getting choked out.
True.
I hate when matches are restarted.
Yeah.
That's
so stupid.
It's a wrestling gimmick that I hate, right? Because technically then every match that ends with like a cheating finish, somehow they could go back and restart it. So to always just be like, well, the referee saw a piece of tape. What the fuck does that mean? If he didn't see it in the moment, you can't restart the match, right? But we're in Chicago and we got to fucking swerve the Chicago crowd because, CM Punk losing one time in a night isn't enough. We got to have him lose twice.
Yeah.
I, once again, didn't absolutely love the second finish because I thought if MJF's going to go over, he should have gone over as clean as possible. Now I'll give a shout out to Wardlow because the way he handed that ring to MJF, I had zero clue what was happening until I saw the replay.
Yeah, I didn't know that was going on. As I think
most people did. It was a smooth transition, but I haven't watched Dynamite tonight, so I don't know what the continuation of that story is, but good match, really good match. More impressed with CM Punk because it looks like every match I see him, he looks better. He looks more like old Punk. So he's clearly on a path to whatever path he's on because I don't know what his aspirations are, right?
Yeah.
But to me, you can't be one of these IWC fans that fucking overreact and talk shit about Roman Reigns, right? Roman only cheats to win. He never, the Usos always help him. Like, that's MJF, bro. It's MJF. It's the exact same story. But that's what heels do. I'm good with it. I don't love it in this situation because I thought if you could give a boost to somebody, it was MJF. CM Punk could have put him over clean. And that immediately puts MJF into the title picture if he wins clean. Mm-hmm. Now, MJF. Yeah. Going to talk about MJF a little bit, right? He's a fucking goober.
Yeah.
He's not like really good in the ring, really good on a microphone, but his look he doesn't have the look of like a badass. He doesn't have the look of like somebody that you think could be a world champion. He's going to be a guy who's good at being the weasel, right? He can weasel his way in and out of situations, but those guys don't get long title runs. He's Miz Light. He is Miz Light, except that Miz looks like somebody, Miz's physique. MJF is just dumpy looking, right? And you remember, like, the last time I said this, I got into an argument with tons of the fucking IWC who clearly don't know what, like, real athletes look like.
Yes.
Like, real athletes in high school and college, they don't look like that. Real athletes don't dress like that. Unless you're coming from a 50s movie or Back to the Future, like he looks like, what's the fucker, Brock or whatever from Back to the Future? But he doesn't look like an athlete. He's a goober. He's goofy. Very. And there's nothing wrong with that, but like the AEW and the IWC, they herald him as the next great thing. And I think he has a ceiling and he's not far from hitting that ceiling. He's great on a microphone.
as I've seen it, so I loved him and when I first saw him, but as you see him more and more, it comes out. Does that make sense?
Yes. The more you watch him and the more you see him against people, even CM Punk has a look, right? He has the look of a guy who could be champion.
Yeah.
Wardlow looks like a guy who could just beat the life out of MJF.
Yeah.
And I get it. MJF's gimmick forever is going to be cheating his way to the top, but I just like, he's goofy. That's how he reads to me. And I like him. I really, 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 really like the character.
Shermanator.
I don't think he looks like the Shermanator.
He doesn't look like him, but he reminds me attitude-wise sort of him.
I don't see that. I like MJF, but I just want to like, I don't like the way the AEW or AEW and IWC, they oversell him, right?
Uh-oh.
All right, so I don't know what the fuck happened. Everything just shut down and we're back. We had slight technical difficulties, but I was finishing up on an MJF point. Don't need to say much more. Last thing I had to say about AEW was that my issue with AEW right now is they have a backlog of title contenders. There's a log, like a jam of people right now. You got what? Adam Cole screaming he wants a title shot. You got MJF who wants a title shot. Obviously, CM Punk wants a title shot. Bryan Danielson's going to circle around. He's going to want another title shot. You got guys like Malachi Black. Cody Rhodes is always sniffing around for the title. So there's a lot of guys in AEW who are looking for title shots, and it just feels really crowded at the top of AEW. And that seems like something they're going to have to figure out. There's not enough title to go around in that company.
True.
You know, maybe that's a good problem to have. I don't know. All right, let's go into the dirt sheets. So I cleverly left the first story blank and just looked into this so that we could run this first thing tomorrow. But all week, little baby con man has been teasing a huge forbidden door hire. Somebody's coming through that forbidden door tonight on Dynamite.
Okay.
And we found out who it is.
Who is it?
Keith Lee. Wah, 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 wah. I like Keith Lee. Nothing wrong with the guy, but like someone's going to have to explain to Baby Khan that like you got to have levels of hypeness for different things. And the IWC is going to lose their fucking shit because Keith Lee's an IWC guy and they're going to go fucking nuts and they're going to tell us all how WWE didn't do shit with him. And then you know what AEW is going to do? They're not going to do shit with him. They're not going to do anything with Keith Lee. Keith the Bearcat Lee, right? He's not going to be used any better in AEW than he was in WWE, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I think if I'm correct, AEW has 700 guys on their roster now.
I think it's 701.
It's what it feels like, right? I mean, they've got 1 million guys on the roster. I just talked about all the guys in the logjam for the title. Uh-huh. But where's Kevin Lee? He's not going to be TNT champion.
Yeah.
He's not going to contend for the title because they've got that thing booked up for 3 years the way they run it. So what? I guess he's going to wrestle a few matches. Literally, he's too big to be on that roster, so they're going to hide him. He's probably going to get to fight like the Big Show, right? I mean, that's what...
Yeah, I forgot the Big Show is on their freaking thing.
I think he does like...
promotions and stuff like that.
But whatever, there's just... I don't know. What are they really going to do with him? I feel like, to me...
Are they going to do him like an Omos or whatever like they do in WWE where he just stands there?
They don't do that. They don't promote their big guys like that. At this point, I feel like Baby Khan. I have this picture in my head of Baby Khan sitting in his room with his toy box full of wrestlers, just pulling them out and being like, "Daddy, I want the Bearcat, Keith Lee, sign him for me." That's what it feels like at this point, right? It's like Tony Khan just buys every action figure that's on the shelf that WWE lets go.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he made this big fucking statement at one point that we're not going to be the company that picks up all of like the ex-8 or WWE wrestlers. And it really starting to feel like you're picking up all the ex-WWE wrestlers. You like AEW is the IWC wet dream. That's all it's become. It's what it's become. Anybody that the IWC is like a baby, like a darling, that's where Tony Khan's doing, right?
All right.
But Tony Khan came out and said he's not going to renew a bunch of contracts.
Oh.
So now we're back in this fucking game. Is the IWC, are they going to shit the bricks the same way they do when Vince McMahon lets guys go?
True. And who's going to be left? Just ex-WWE stars?
Right. I guarantee you he's going to get rid of a bunch of AEW guys.
Yeah.
And not these WWE guys that have converted over. And here we go, man. Same shit, different company. It's all it is. You guys can try to sell me on them being so great, but it's same shit, different company, right?
Yeah.
Story number 2, Ronda Rousey comments on fan criticism. Ask the fans to push for change online.
What does that mean?
So Ronda's quoted as saying, and I believe she said this to Steve-O.
Okay.
About her original run in the WWE. So it's just like, what am I doing this for if I'm not able to spend time and energy on my family, but instead I'm spending my time and energy on a bunch of fucking ungrateful fans that don't even appreciate me. I love performing. I love the girls. I love being out there. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, fuck these fans, dude. My family loves me and they appreciate me, and I want all my energy to go to them. So that was my decision. At the end of the day, it's like, hey, girls, love what you're doing. I'm going to try and take all my momentum and push you guys as far as I can. Fly, little birds, fly. I'm going fucking home. First off, I think she really overestimates her value to the women's division in WWE.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think, especially at this point in time, I don't think she comes in and is any bigger draw than Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch,
no,
Bayley, Alexa Bliss. Like, she fits right into the middle of that mold. So I think Ronda oversells herself. Do I welcome her? Sure. Is it fun every so often to get these like surprise signings? Sure, it's all fun. But if her real energy is fuck the fans, what are you doing?
True.
Because it really then comes off like you're there for the paycheck. And if you're there for the paycheck, the fans aren't going to love you. It's redundant to think that you're going to come back and just the fans should just be in love with you. WWE fans in general don't usually take well to outsiders.
Well, I didn't miss her when she was gone.
I didn't either.
I didn't feel like, oh no, we're missing something because Ronda Rousey isn't here.
I didn't either. I didn't, it was exciting she's back. But if this is the attitude you have, and the rumor is that they're having problems with her because in her last promo, she kind of went straight at the fans and they're like, hey, Ronda, we're kind of working you as the face in this situation. And I think she just has a natural tendency to want to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of who she is, right? Mm-hmm. But this goes to double down on what I said earlier about what the fuck are we doing with Charlotte and Ronda Rousey? Two people that are highly unlikable, and we're going to put them in a match together. The energy in that building is going to be weird for that match. It's going to be weird because I believe that oddly enough, like Charlotte will start to get cheered in that match. Mm-hmm. Because I think, I just think the fans,
Charlotte is somebody that people love to hate, but there's still at least a likability to
there's
her.
a lot of people who like Charlotte, but
I like Charlotte Flair now.
There's like a hard line there. There's a lot of people who hate her. Like with Becky Lynch, people are irritated by her, but they don't really dislike her. With Sasha Banks, you hardly find anybody who dislikes her.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair, hardly find anybody who dislikes her. With Charlotte, there's a hard line there. Mm-hmm. With Ronda, there's an even harder line there, right? Lots of people don't like her.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day, a friend of mine, and his first initial reaction when I told him, "Oh, Ronda Rousey's back," he's like, "Oh, she's an idiot. Like,
yeah,
I can't stand her." And I didn't know. And then he kind of went into like her UFC background, that she's kind of always had this relationship with fans.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
So he kind of let me in on that.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Next story. Injured WWE star teases a return at the Elimination Chamber in 2022.
Okay.
So this is Bayley. Bayley is teasing her return. So apparently, under the radar, I didn't know. I got to keep up with social media more. WWE announced a women's Elimination Chamber match.
Oh, I did not know that either.
And they've announced 5 of the contestants in the match.
Okay.
And the winner gets a WWE Raw Tag Team title shot. So this will decide who gets to fight the winner of Becky Lynch and Lita, which obviously is going to be Becky Lynch.
Yes.
But right now we have Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Doudrop, Rhea Ripley, and Nikki Ash.
Okay.
Those are 5 of the people. Then we have one blank spot. They got the little question mark person, the mystery spot. And Bayley kind of threw in some jabs, which leads me to believe it's probably not her, right? Mm-hmm. Or maybe it is.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, typically, if you're going to come back for a surprise pop, you don't start teasing it. You want it to be as big of a surprise as it can be.
True.
I don't think you tease that. So it got me thinking, who are the other possibilities? Asuka. We still know that Asuka's hanging around, that they have nothing for her to do. Lacey Evans has been missing for a while, but is this where we find Alexa Bliss?
I don't know.
Could we slide Alexa into the Elimination Chamber? Could this be the return of the goddess Alexa Bliss character?
Yeah.
Feels to me like that's the most likely.
That'd be cool. I'd be excited
because I don't know how much longer they can do the therapy sessions.
Yeah.
They're fun and they were cool, but like that's a real long burn to where we're going, and it's starting to wear off. It's not as fun anymore. Mm-hmm. Last story of the day. Bobby Lashley has argued that the WWE title is just as important as the Universal title. He was quoted as saying, "I think it is on the same level as the Universal Championship. What company do we work for? WWE. I have the WWE Championship. To me, I don't see anything bigger than that." Well, Bobby, you're a little delusional there. I understand Brock wanting to go against Roman. I'm not taking anything away from Roman because I think Roman is at the top of his game. I think he's really transcending anything he can do. I give credit where credit is due. Well, we got a couple problems, Bobby. Couple problems that I have here, okay? And I see what Bobby's doing. I understand what he's doing because you got to sell the belt you have. Mm-hmm. Nobody comes out and says, I got the B belt. That guy's got the real belt. I got the bullshit belt, right? Nobody says that. But the word universal, just the word universal kind of implies and says everything you need to know about the title. Like, you're not just the fucking champion on Earth. You're the champion on Mars. You're the champion on Saturn. If Pluto's still a planet, you're the fucking champion on Pluto, right? Universal Championship, it means you're the champion of the universe.
Yes.
WWE title means you're the champion of the WWE. So just by definition, I don't think there's any reality where those belts are the same. And let's be honest, they don't treat those belts the same. The WWE title is an afterthought. It's the second belt. For the long time, Raw was the secondary show. I think they've balanced it a little better after the draft. But, you know, the truth is, I think that they're going to unify the two belts, hopefully, and get rid of one. And then maybe bring in, God, we can only hope, right? Bring back the World Heavyweight title. Something that looks completely different. Something that has a different feel. But I hate the clone belts. That's what I call them, right? They're clone belts. It's the same belt, different color, which makes no sense to me.
True.
I don't like that. So hopefully, fuck it. Let's survive through this Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar. It'll be a good match, title for title. Let's unify those two belts, and then let's give Monday Night Raw the World Heavyweight Championship. Something different. All right, it's time for the burning question. You were late on that one.
No.
You were late on that one.
You have to know that every time there's got to be some sort of sound effects.
I got to cue you up better. All right. So every week I get the same couple of idiots coming into my social media and telling me that I'm a WWE fanboy, right? I'm an AEW hater. That's what I'm labeled. I've been labeled that, right?
Yes.
Then every so often I say something about WWE and I get called a WWE hater, but I would concur that I am very pro WWE these days, right? And for one of those is I think I like to believe that I'm a proud member of the CWC, right? Casual wrestling community.
Yes.
Represent it. It's what I represent. It's okay, right? I want to start this conversation out by saying I like AEW. I really do. I like AEW and I enjoy AEW. See a lot wrong with it, but I do like it. So the burning question this week is I'm going to try and answer, why the fuck do I hate AEW? Right? Because that's the question I get asked. Even though I'm telling you right off the bat, I don't hate AEW, but I'm going to explain why I come off that way, right? So in my time watching both WWE and AEW, I've kind of realized that they're actually two very different products entirely. Yes. Even though we as wrestling fans try to pin them against each other, but they are two different things, right? I like to think that if I was going to generalize them, WWE is like a comic book. It's larger than life. You have to suspend your belief. We got fucking dead guys. We got invisible guys. We got people who win by divine intervention in matches. We got demons. We have all different kinds of characters, right?
Yes.
There's like turkeys and you know, we've had the gobbly-goobler at one point. But the WWE is a comic book. It's a Marvel movie. It's supposed to be based in reality, but like the Undertaker fucking shoots some lightning out his hand every so often, and we're supposed to be like, oh no, that's cool. We're cool with that, right?
Yes.
He's dead. He just came out from the fucking ground. Mm-hmm. Whereas AEW, in my short time watching it, I believe that the generalization of AEW is supposed to be it's a sport, right? It's the real wrestling company.
Yes.
It's real wrestling matches. Like, it's a sport where records are supposed to matter.
Yeah.
And it's not size that matters in AEW. It's talent. 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 That's all talent. AEW has the most talented wrestlers, right? AEW also has the most overzealous fan base who just, you know, they're the gatekeepers of wrestling. They protect the sanctity of real wrestling that WWE is constantly trying to ruin. Mm-hmm. And AEW / IWC, and they're not all the same, but the majority of the IWC lives in the AEW. Let's get that straight, right? The internet wrestling community is got a fucking hard on for AEW, no doubt. These fans, these IWC fans always want to convince, and they use the word mark, right? If you like WWE, you're a mark. They want to convince people like me that guys who grew up wrestling in ballrooms and basketball gyms, those are the real wrestlers. Those are the guys we're supposed to respect. Those guys are better at fake fighting than guys who almost made it to the NFL. Those guys are nobody, right? They almost made it to the highest level of professional football or basketball, or they were the top collegiate athletes, right? They spent so many years. These guys have spent so many years training and weightlifting at the highest levels. But if they didn't wrestle at the fucking, you know, DMV or whatever, the VW or the local gymnasium, they're nobody. They haven't paid their dues. They can't be, they're not indie darlings, right? Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns is an indie darling. Roman Reigns, he's a fucking pretentious asshole. Who does he think he is just coming into WWE and fucking and being the main guy, right? Mm-hmm. And it's weird, right? Because when I first started doing the wrestling stuff, we were doing a video game channel, if people don't know.
Yeah.
And I just didn't fit that world. I say fuck way too much for video game people.
Definitely.
They didn't like it. And I quickly realized I like video games, but the people don't like me. Wrestling fans speak my language much more than video game people, right? So we transitioned into from video games, we went to doing like what would you, pop culture?
Yeah.
Where we did some wrestling stuff and we really saw like an embracement of what I said for wrestling. So we transitioned to wrestling. Kind of started out as a joke, ended up being whatever. Here we are now. But I started off when we first started doing this. If you go back and look at the videos, I loved AEW.
Oh yeah, well,
when we
that's
first started,
just got back into wrestling, and it was was it the death match with Jericho came out,
It was before that.
Well, that's when I fell in love with AEW. I was like, oh my god, this is
awesome. So I was in love with AEW. I said, oh, this is fresh. I enjoy it. I didn't necessarily talk bad about the WWE, but I saw the differences and I talked about the differences, and I expressed my love for AEW. And it was real. It was raw. It was raw emotion for what I was watching, right? Most of my initial videos were pro AEW.
Mm-hmm. You were called an AEW mark.
But do you know what happened? The fucking IWC showed up. It's what it... No. This isn't a joke. That's not a joke. It's not to be laughed at. The thing that ruined my fucking taste for AEW was the IWC, was the infamous opinionist, the heel Josh. These fucking idiots who come in and try to gatekeep and tell you what a fucking idiot you are for having realizations about these things. And who these guys who got pissed off when I expressed love for AEW and WWE. They all wanted to fucking pretend like you can't do that. You can't call out AEW for being undersized, but still say you like it. That's toxic bullshit. No, it's just reality, right? That's the truth. The reality is I thought I could enjoy both products. There was a time, like, I was naive. I hadn't been attacked by the IWC yet. I thought I could enjoy WWE and AEW and not have to choose a side. But it was the IWC who fucking came in and tried to draw a line in the sand and were like, you need to fucking, like, go over there with the WWE people, you casual. Because anytime I made a video that was negative about the WWE, the fucking IWC heralded me. They loved me. If I was talking good about AEW and bad about WWE, they fucking loved me. The minute I did the flip-flop, right, and talked about AEW, they went fucking nuts. I get 1 out of 50 people who are upset when I say something negative about WWE. But 95% of people, if I say anything negative about WWE or AEW, you're a hater, bro. Why do you watch it? Fucking casual. You fucking bum. You're an idiot. Another L take from this guy.
You wouldn't know what real wrestling was if
exactly,
he hit you in
right?
the face.
That's exactly right. And it started, like, it fucking dawned on me. It dawned on me that, like, it's when I came up with the CWC, the idea of the casual wrestling community, because it was a joke, right? But this IWC exists, and they turn people off of AEW, and it's by design. They want to hoard that shit for themselves. They feel like if they can keep it for themselves, it makes them fucking feel like they're part of something, and it makes them feel cool. And I realized, right, to them, Kenny Omega isn't a wrestler. He's Jesus. No, I'm serious. Like, Kenny Omega is Jesus Christ, and Tony Khan is God. And they do no wrong. If they sign Keith Lee, oh, fuck, greatest signing ever, right?
So smart, man.
They sign anybody the WWE releases, oh, WWE's fucking idiot. They do nothing with those people. What? Adam Cole hasn't done anything. So I mean, what great thing happened to Adam Cole? He's not going to get a title shot anytime soon. And if he does, good for him. But he's still, he's still Adam Cole. He wasn't going to be the top guy in WWE.
Yeah.
He doesn't have that kind of talent. And Tony Khan was God because he brought CM Punk back. And I was excited.
Yeah,
I wanted to be excited. But then the IWC fucking came in. And when I had comments on CM Punk, they all were pissed off that I'd have an opinion on CM Punk. So it got to the point where it was almost like I could just antagonize these people. I can just talk my shit because they give me the reaction I'm looking for. I see flaws in both companies, right? But AEW, IWC, it feels like they're dying to be a fucking clique. It's what they want to be, right? Even the way, and it's even some of the wrestlers, the way CM Punk talks, right? We're the indie band.
Oh God.
They
plays at a bowling alley.
They like this grungy, but let me help you out, CM Punk. The indie band signs autographs after their show. No, I'm serious. Like, you can laugh all you want, but these motherfuckers say these contradicting statements, right? We're the indie band. We're the cool kids. We're the grunge. We're the grunge, right? We're the indie guys. But don't fucking talk to me when I get to the airport because I have a stick up my ass. Oh, but they need a personal life. The indie band doesn't, because the indie band's hungry. The indie band wants to fucking make it to the top. So stop using analogies like that if you're not really about that life, right? Mm-hmm. But I also realized something else. The IWC, they want to label WWE all the time. What do you hear? It's for the kids.
Yeah.
WWE is for the kids, bro. How do you like that shit? It's for the kids, right?
It's not pro wrestling.
It's not for us hipsters. Because that's what they are. They're the wrestling version of hipsters. AEW and IWC, well, I got to quit saying AEW because it's not all of them. It's the IWC, right? They all want to belong to something that matters and they want to gatekeep that thing. Like, I don't understand why you can't enjoy AEW and just not be a complete dickhead. And there are some, but for the most part, this IWC, they gatekeep the fuck out of wrestling. And these guys made me start to look at AEW through jaded glasses, right? No longer did I have that naive love for AEW. It was this almost like, well, fuck, if they're going to talk shit every time I say something about AEW, they're going to talk shit, then I'm just going to double down and talk shit, right? I'm going to fucking let them know every time I see something that's stupid, right?
True.
And so I was like, what the fuck, when these guys would say, what the fuck, WWE's for the kids, bro. I was like, what do you mean WWE's for the kids? AEW's full of guys that look like kids. No shit. Is right? I mean, the like 5'11" is a fucking monster in AEW, and that's fine. They're talented, and I concede they're really talented, but they are small, and they use illusions to hide this all the time. They're small guys, really talented small guys. That's the AEW, that's the game plan. I said it's two different things, right? Mm-hmm. But also in this real wrestling company, right? Quote unquote, this is the sport, the real wrestling company. You have fucking Tarzan who rides on the back of a dinosaur. That's not for the kids, bro.
I mean,
you grown men, like that's what you guys, you have Tarzan who apparently is Luke Perry's fucking son, right?
Yep.
And you got Luchasaurus, who's Big Brother alumni, right?
Yeah.
You guys lost your shit. This IWC lost their shit when the fucking mime came out from under the ring and fucking put a spell on a guy.
Yeah.
Danhausen.
Yeah.
And I like Danhausen.
Yeah.
But you guys are the guys screaming, we can't like shit like that. That's WWE shit. That's little kids, bro. Mm-hmm. Don't get me started on Darby Allin. 4'7", 117 pounds. He gets smaller every time I say it. You know that, right?
Yeah.
4'7", 117 pounds, paints half his face, rides a skateboard, hits people with skateboard, fucking reckless in the ring. Like, nobody, you guys could fucking, don't stop comparing him to Rey Mysterio. Stop disrespecting Eddie Guerrero. Stop disrespecting those guys. Darby Allin ain't that guy. He's not that guy, right? And then also, we got 40-year-old blonde guys dressed as fucking high school students. The Varsity Blondes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, it's cool. This is what wrestling has been forever, but you guys got to quit telling me. You got to quit telling me that WWE is for the kids. Do you know who their champion is?
Yes.
Fucking hipster cowboy. It's all wrestling. The IWC thinks, I told you this, that MJF is what a high school athlete looks like, or a college athlete.
Like the cool guy.
That's not what college athletes look like, right?
Yeah.
We could play this game on both sides. I can talk shit about AEW all day, but I enjoy the product. I really do. Both companies fucking suck. They do. They do horrible wrestling things that pisses off the fans. But we all enjoy watching that shit. And we keep watching that shit, right? And it's like, it's just recently, it feels like on TikTok and YouTube and Facebook that we've kind of weeded out all of the real big time idiots who were listening, and they'd always come with like the real stupid takes. And we're finally able to kind of sit down and watch AEW and comment on AEW without just an influx of idiots. They've either blocked me, I've blocked them, whatever the situation is, but it feels like we've gotten to a point in this show where the people who listen understand this is a casual wrestling show. It's what 100%. It is. It's what it is. I've never wanted to wrestle. It's never been a goal of mine. So when they come and go, you never wrestle, bro, you don't know the business. Not coming at this from that side. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to say I'm an ex-wrestler. I'm a fan, a casual fan. This is not my life. I don't live WWE. I don't live AEW. I don't live anything. But the sad part of this is, it's not AEW I don't like. It's the IWC. It's that group of fans, and they're way more prominent in AEW. They do exist in WWE. There are these people in WWE. There's the diehards and the tryhards of WWE that do the same thing, but it's way more prevalent in the AEW and the IWC. And I said it earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. I wanted to write down the definition. They hate when I call them this, but they're the hipsters. They regurgitate the same shit over and over because it's the cool thing to say, right? And the definition of a hipster is a person who follows the latest trend, especially those regarded as being outside the cultural mainstream. Does that not sound like everything they just embrace and endure, right? We're the indie fans. We're the indie company, right? They use words like fickle all the time.
Who uses that word?
Daniel Bryan said it one time.
Did he really?
Daniel Bryan said, we got all these fickle WWE fans.
God.
But what they don't understand, he was talking about them. He's not talking about people like me. I don't take myself serious. Everything I say is about 50% bullshit. And the people who listen to me, I guarantee you they know this at this point. But we have fun when we talk. We're joking. We enjoy wrestling, right? But the last thing I'm going to say is like, fuck the IWC, because they ruined wrestling for me. But at least I'm at a point now where I know this and I just ignore it. And when you arrive at that level where you go, fuck these people, I don't have to listen to them. And I do block them. Like, I don't get this thing on TikTok and YouTube where people are like, oh, this guy blocked me because I came in and called him a douchebag, right? If you come in with your toxic energy, I don't have fucking time for that. Like, I'm going to fucking go do some real life shit after this. I don't need you talking shit. You are not, you don't have the right to come into my comment section and say whatever the fuck you want. I run this shit, not you. And I don't care what they say about me. I'm not out here fucking touching little kids like allegedly certain people in this fucking industry. Right? Well, I'm just being real. Like, let's be real.
True.
Oh, got all that shit off my chest, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, look, it's okay. If you like Omos, you like Omos. I'm going to talk shit. You like Roman Reigns? Like Roman Reigns. I'm going to talk shit. If you like Jungle Boy and Orange Cassidy, like them. Man, there's a flavor for everybody. And that's what makes wrestling fun. And I'm not here to gatekeep what you like and what you don't like. There was a time where I was arguing with everybody in the comments and telling them they were wrong. And it just hit me one day. I was like, I'm no more right than anybody else. All right, so we got fucking cut off again. It's probably the IWC at this point.
They didn't like what you said.
They've tapped into the feeds and they cut me off whenever I say it. But I'm going to end it with, right, like I was saying, like what you like, enjoy what you enjoy, and fuck these gatekeeping IWC people, right? This show isn't for the IWC fans. Never was intended to be. This show is for CWC, right? Casual wrestling fans. All right, so that's what it is. Let's go to the comment section.
All right.
So this week in the comment section, I have some graphics. We've upgraded a little bit here. Go to graphic number 3.
Graphic number 3.
Can you read me what that comment says?
Which one? The one from Nathan NW19?
Yes, this comes from Nathan HHHW, something like that, 19.
Okay. Weren't Corey Graves and his wife in the middle of divorce when he got with Camilla? Not 100% sure.
That is Carmella, not Camilla. Don't know who that is.
Carmella.
So like I said earlier in the show, I dug deeper into this situation. As you can see in the graphic above, I don't have that text. If you want to read that text as well.
Sure. This may be totally below me to do, but I'm hurt. I'm sad. I've put 11 years into supporting a man to accomplish his dream, only for him to punch me in the gut. I've been through suicide attempts, alcoholism, among so much more with him, and stuck by his side. The kicker is finding out that he's been sleeping with one of my daughter's role models all along, at Carmella WWE and at WWE Graves. I hope you guys are happy. I really do.
All right, Nathan, what's that sound like? That don't sound like to me that they were going through a divorce when this all came to be. This sounds like Corey was up to shenanigans. He was out putting his dick in places it shouldn't be, and he got caught. And unfortunately, maybe he moved on, was happy man, but he did get caught, and there is, he is in the Hall of Shame now for that moment.
Well, rightfully so. He won the Hall of Shame,
Yeah, probably rightfully so. He was inducted into this week's Hall of Shame, and yeah, it's unfortunate, right? People do these things, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago, how you separate the wrestler from the real and the real from the wrestler. And I do see a lot of people, it pains them when we bring this up and then this stuff ends up being true.
I know in wrestling, it seems like a lot of times you want to pretend like that just didn't happen.
Yeah. And I get that it really isn't any of our business, but it is our business, right? Because that's the world we live in. We live in a world full of tabloids and TMZs and things like that. And you do have to hold people accountable, right? Hopefully Corey Graves is doing better based on that situation. But judging off of like the fan response, there's a lot of people who just think Corey Graves is a total douchebag, and not just for this, but I saw explanations that even went deeper into other things. I find Corey Graves to be a funny TV character, but I don't know enough about him to know why that should be annoying and not funny. And sometimes
True.
context means everything, right? My understanding of Corey Graves is only as a Raw announcer.
Me too.
I have no experience other than that with him.
Me too.
Graphic number 3.
Number 4.
4.
All right.
I can read the thing. I have that one. So Manny23434 says WWE should do an off season like the NBA or NFL. Literally makes more sense. Gives screenwriters time and wrestlers time off. Nailed it, Manny. Fucking nailed it. I love this idea. 100%. At least a couple months off. 2 or 3 months post WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The number of injuries would probably go down. The
True.
wrestlers' mental well-being would probably go up. More family time, more time with their spouses, more time to just be human beings. I saw Triple H in a little clip on TikTok talking about, if you really want to be a WWE wrestler, be prepared to be a bad father. Be prepared to be a bad spouse. That you're going to be on the road almost, 300 days a year. There is no home time.
That's crazy.
And it was interesting to me because if you did do an off season, you could run it opposite of NXT, because people like me, casual wrestling fans, there's just not enough time. There's too much wrestling in a week,
I agree.
right? If you really try to watch NXT, Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Rampage, and if you're fucking crazy enough to try and watch Impact and something like that, that's almost every night something 2 to 3 hours you have to watch.
Yeah.
The interesting thing would be that if NXT ran opposite of the WWE season, so you went like 9 months of the year with a real WWE schedule, and then 3 months you featured heavily the NXT and had pay-per-views and things like that, NXT's own Royal Rumble, NXT's own big event, and then what you did is you come out of that NXT season, what would be the quote-unquote WWE off season, and that WWE draft would actually be a legitimate thing where Raw and SmackDown drafted guys off of the NXT roster every year.
Oh, that's actually pretty cool.
It just seems like it would make it, like it would give a lot more meaning to having a draft. And then you could have like trade situations, right? Where like, oh, Monday Night Raw packages a first round pick and Seth Rollins for the Usos or whatever. It feels like it would give it like a more interesting sport type feel. I think it also, I kind of touched on this, it would reduce watch fatigue. I'm fatigued if I actually do, because it's rare that I hit the all 4 shows. It's rare. I always watch Raw and SmackDown. I usually watch Dynamite and then almost never watch Rampage. But if I do watch all of those, especially on a week with a pay-per-view, you're just fatigued coming out of that. It's too much wrestling. And I feel like if there was an off season to kind of recharge the batteries and to get excited about wrestling coming back, it would be more fun. WrestleManias would even feel more like the Super Bowl, right?
True.
They would feel like the culmination of a season of wrestling.
Yeah.
And like this is the big championship. The 2 big dogs are going head to head for the world championship. This is it. And then after this match, there's going to be a break. There's going to be 3 months where we get to kind of talk and celebrate the year that was wrestling. Now, reality, it's just too much fucking money missing for them to do this. WWE's a machine. Every pay-per-view makes money. Every Monday Night Raw sells advertising. Every SmackDown sells advertising. They're just too ingrained in the system. And the fact that it's not a real sport, like the wrestlers kind of get treated like shit. They're not going to get an off season. They're not worried about their family life. Wrestlers don't hold enough power to kind of like unionize and demand some of these things.
They'll just get somebody new.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing better of like giving certain wrestlers short breaks, but I can't see a time where they just let like the whole WWE roster take a break. Also, because I think the fear is that in that time, another company would embrace that moment like AEW and go, well, shit, if there's no WWE on TV, we could really make gains in an audience.
Definitely.
It would only work if like every company was doing the same thing.
Which won't happen. So.
And the reality is, Manny, I think the truth is like the NFL and the NBA, if they could figure out a way to run 300 days a year, they'd do it too. If they thought they could put the wear and tear on people's bodies, I mean, they keep adding games to the season. They keep adding rounds to the playoffs. There's more NFL games than there's ever been this season. Mm-hmm. And if they could get away with it, they would 100% run it year round. The offseason in pro sports, I think, is just kind of a necessity, but it's not something that those companies just love to do.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some 20 questions. I wanted to shout out last week at Come Honor Face 2. He hit us with Rikishi. What? Oh!
I literally just got that.
So I watch a guy on TikTok who does these kinds of things, and I said I would never get got, and I just got.
Me
that
too.
was fucking awesome.
As I read his name and like I gave it to you, I was like, oh, this must be like a video game I don't know about.
That was fucking awesome. And it didn't click till you laughed. I would have completely gone naive to that.
Oh, good one, bro. Good
All right,
one.
cool. So yeah, that guy did Rikishi. This week, who we got it coming from?
At 7 Snuggles 2. Gave me this week's.
That's our guy.
Yeah.
That's our guy. All right, we ready? I have a few questions that I just try like it's not cheating to have a couple questions, I feel like, because these are just my standard like opening 8.
Okay. I'm keeping count this time, by the way.
Okay. No, I think we should, because I feel like
All right, I got a marker ready.
it devalues the game.
Sure.
Is this person associated with the WWE?
Yes.
Okay, good. WWE is definitely my wheelhouse. I'm waiting for the time that you try to get me with like a WCW one. That's going to hurt. Because
it will hurt me too.
Is this person currently employed by the WWE?
Yes.
Okay, so current wrestler, WWE. I was going to say guy or girl. Is this person a guy? Yes. Male wrestler, WWE. Current wrestler. Where do I want to go with this? Is this person Monday Night Raw?
No.
Okay, so SmackDown. Smaller. I feel like a smaller roster, or just. So SmackDown, right? Yes. Okay, because I keep waiting for NXT too.
Yeah, I mean that's a possibility.
I was gonna say, so I gotta confirm SmackDown because I just assume, but there's a good chance it could be NXT. SmackDown, current wrestler, male. Should I go with the always famous? Is this person ever been a world champion?
I for sure know the answer to this one. It's no.
Not a world champion.
No.
Has this person ever held a mid-card title of any kind? Intercontinental, United States, 24/7, hardcore championship, any of those?
No.
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 All right, so this is SmackDown wrestler. So if they haven't held a title, they could be a newer wrestler.
If I held, you mean like actually won it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's weird. What does that mean?
Nothing.
I don't like that.
Okay.
Is this person over 6'4"?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay, not over 6'4". I don't know if there's very many wrestlers over 6'4" anymore. Has this person ever been a part of a faction?
Yes.
Has been a part of a faction?
Yes, definitely.
So, okay, so this is a guy who's not... So it's got to be like a newer guy in a faction. Fuck. Let's see.
I mean... Never mind.
Yeah, don't give me hints. I don't like hints.
Okay.
Does this person wear tights?
No.
So they wear... does this person wear the underwear?
The man panties? No,
Yeah.
no man panties.
So no tights or no underwear. So this is
No.
all right. So this is a wrestler who wears something different. Then, well, how many questions is that?
We're at 11 right now.
I could go with hair color. I could go with. Oh, I thought of this question the other day. I think this narrows it down. Was this person at the Royal Rumble?
Yes.
Okay, so that narrows it down. That gets rid of some of like the. I don't know why Cesaro popped in my head, but he's held titles. What other questions do I have?
Yeah. So you said held a title means like actually won it.
What? I don't like that you keep going back to that.
Okay.
So I got it. Here's the tricky part. If they don't wear tights
No.
and they don't wear the underwear, that means that they have an unusual outfit. And if they were in the Royal Rumble with an unusual outfit,
Okay.
that
I mean, you have about 30 different options there.
yeah, you got. So it could be like a pair, like. So Jeff Hardy was.
So you asked me if he was at the Royal Rumble, not in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, fuck that. I mean, it's all the same. So okay, Shane McMahon wears. I think they're jeans or
Jorts.
pants. So okay, does this person wear a jersey?
No.
And I think Shane McMahon's held a title, so I don't think that was the right line of questioning. So, all right, so let me look back at what I've. So I've got no
And
tights,
held
no
means
underwear.
won a title.
Stop giving me clues.
I didn't give you a clue.
You are though. Stop doing that.
Just clarifying.
No, I don't need clarification. I'll get to where I need to go. I gotta break this down
I
in my
think we're
head.
gonna get you, so I'm not worried about this one.
No tights, no underwears. SmackDown wrestler, correct? Not over 6'4". Never been a world champion or never had any title of any kind.
Mm-hmm.
Is a part of a faction, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so the question
Does not wear a jersey.
So is this person in a current SmackDown faction?
Yes.
Okay, so that should narrow it down because there's not tag teams. I guess tag teams are factions. I would. So you got Usos, but they wear. Well, no, the Usos kind of wear. Do they wear shorts? Ooh, okay, interesting. Is this person black or Samoan? I'm gonna do.
Is that 2 questions or 1 question?
It's are they black or Samoan? Like
Okay.
Either one. If they are, they
No.
aren't. Okay, so they aren't. So it's not the
No.
Usos.
No, it's not the Usos.
So okay, but I see where I'm going here because if they wear shorts, who else wears shorts?
Well, I mean, I can't answer that for you.
No, I'm not asking. This is me talking to myself. I'm having a conversation with myself. Who else wears shorts? The Viking Raiders keep popping into my head. I don't think they wear.
Are you guessing Viking Raiders?
No. Not guessing Viking Raiders. They keep popping into my head because they wear.
They don't wear shorts or pants.
I believe they wear like fucking
Singlets,
tribal gear or
thingies.
something. No, one of them wears like fucking fur.
Like a skirt.
Yeah, like a skirt.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they were at the Rumble. Were they? Were the Viking
I
Raiders?
honestly don't remember.
I
I
don't
don't think so,
remember either.
though.
Is this person? So I said not black or small. Is this person white?
Yes. He is white.
And that can't be Corbin. It could be
What?
Does this person wear shorts and suspenders?
No.
Oh, I thought I had it.
No.
I thought it was Madcap Moss.
No.
Well, he fit
I
everything.
mean, I guess, yeah, technically he doesn't wear
He's white.
underwear.
He hasn't been a champion.
True.
He's SmackDown. He's part of Happy Corbin's, I guess, tag team faction.
Yeah, that was actually a good one. But no, that's not
I
him.
thought I had it.
I mean, you got to put it together. He's
I don't need. Hold on.
Okay.
So at this point,
You're at freaking like 18, bro. This would be your 18th question.
The part that trips me out is they don't wear shorts, and it's not John Cena because he's been fucking champion a million times. I'm just throwing names out here. Can't be. We have eliminated Madcap. Eliminated Viking. Well, the Viking Raiders are still in play if they were at the Royal Rumble, but Vince has been champion, right? But Vince wouldn't be associated with SmackDown. MVP, but it's not black, and that's Raw.
He's a white man.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
I'm holding on. I'm holding on.
Does this person actually wrestle?
No.
So I knew. Fuck. So we're throwing managers into this game now?
I didn't say that.
No, we are, because this is Paul Heyman. I didn't say that. This is Paul Heyman. This is Paul Heyman. So we're doing managers in this game as well? I thought this was wrestler 20 questions.
Well, you know what? It's part of these. He's wrestled in, I don't know.
That was a good one.
It was a good one, wasn't it?
That was a good one, because like, for sure. Now and your clues, you're going to have to quit with the clues, because I think it saved me.
Held the title.
When you said he held the title, I started in my head. There was a point early on when you said that.
It's kind of a trick question, because technically he's held the title. He's
so
put it
there
in
was
his
a point in time when you said that early on that like Paul Heyman popped into my head like holding the title.
Yeah.
But I thought, no, there's no way y'all do a manager.
Well,
that was a good one. That was a
open.
really good one.
The door is open for anything. Anything goes now.
So that means I have to go study a whole new group of people.
Everybody, be prepared.
Dude, what did I get that in?
19. You're one away, bro.
That's the closest I've ever been to running out of questions.
You've given up once, and then we almost got you.
Yeah.
Out of all 20 questions.
Yeah. So I'm like, we're have to go back and get official.
Ooh, we're gonna have to start a counter.
That's what I say. We're gonna have to get official ranking, but. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was a fucking good one.
All right.
I'm gonna admit, a little bit of bullshit because I didn't know we were doing managers.
Well, that was at Snuggles too.
So now, like my first line of questioning is gonna have to be:
is it a wrestler?
Is it a wrestler or is this a manager? Oh, fuck.
Is it a wrestler?
This game's gonna get way too.
This
was supposed to be fun, and this is gonna get way too stressful.
Well, you better start studying.
This has been another episode of the Notorious NerdyD Casual Wrestling Podcast. As always, I am the Notorious NerdyD. That is Level Up Lauren, and you can go ahead and ring the final bell. Ba-ding.